It's time for Heart at Home Nostalgia's Nostalgia News. We just like to give you the scoop from the past. Welcome to the Nostalgia Visual Podcast. I'm Mrs. H, and today we're going to look into a day in the life of a milkman in the 1950s. Who remembers the milkman? Raise your hand. I do not remember the milkman. I am going through my memories of milkman were from film noir movies, and all sorts of trouble would come with the milkman. Were they this much trouble? Loretta Young had some. We are going to talk about looking back into the good old days and reminiscing about simpler times. We're just gonna forget all the other stuff. Or at least our memories or a version of those times. And I want to take a trip back with you into the 50s and explore this daily life. So back in the 50s, milkmen were a familiar sight in neighborhoods across America. Today, what do we have similar? You have the Uber? No. You have Instacart. You're starting to notice these people. The mailman, the mailwoman. These are things that I think are more similar. So back in the 50s, milkmen, you would see them all around town. And these familiar delivery men would bring fresh milk and other dairy products right to your doorstep. I feel like with the subscription boxes and things like that maybe we're starting to get that a little bit again. What do you think? Have any of you ever done any of those subscription boxes where you're getting the food delivered to your door, but you don't have this guy with a cool hat and this great uniform delivering to you anymore? It's kind of like just there. You open the door and there's a box there. So I feel like it's a little different. Can you imagine you're waking up in the morning to find a bottle of fresh milk waiting for you on your front door porch? It is a simpler time, and the milkman was an important role in many families' lives. So a day in the life of the milkman was a busy one. They would start their day early in the morning, usually around 4 or 5 a.m. Do you guys wake up really early? I don't. Most of my friends tell me I'm up all the time, but I don't think 4 or 5. Some of you come to our early morning radio shows, and I know you're up, but I'm not sure you ever went to sleep. By heading to the dairy, and they would load up their truck with the fresh milk and dairy products. Somehow in my mind, the milk was better back then. Let me know in the comments. I'm imagining this creamier, richer milk. So from there, they would hit the road and they would make stops at businesses and homes all across town. So they had to be quick and efficient. I kind of think of the UPS workers. They are so fast. And as they often had to make stops, many of them in the day, they would carefully carry the heavy glass bottles of milk up to the customers' doorsteps, leaving them in a designated milk box or cooler. So I have seen now for Amazon packages and things like that, people have these boxes where they're designated now, and somehow the bad guys are not supposed to know about it, but they look like part of your decor. So I feel like the bad guys are smart enough to know, hey, that's not a lounge chair. That's where they're hiding the subscription fresh box. So they would also collect empty bottles from the day before, which would later be sanitized and refilled with fresh milk. So today everybody talks about reuse, environmentalism, but here, this was definitely more of a thing. I'm wondering if when you went to the grocery stores back in the day, please let me know in the comments, if you had more reusable bags. Today, that's a thing. Did they give you a bag? Did you bring a bag with you? Was it paper always? Because I grew up with paper, then it was paper or plastic, and now it's mostly just plastic, right? So let me know so I can learn in the comments, okay? So in addition to delivering milk, milkmen would often sell other dairy products like butter, cream, and cheese. Oh my goodness. This kind of reminds me of when the peddler would come by in the old days and you would want to buy everything from the catalog, I'd be like, give me some of that, give me some of that. They also played an important role in the community. They get to know their customers, and they would often serve as just a friendly face and a source of, news and gossip. They would spill the tea, okay? So I don't like gossip if it's about anybody that's like that would get hurt, but I tend to like royal gossip. I want to know, what did the king do? What did the queen do? No, I know it's a terrible vice. I'll say overall, the life of a milkman in the 50s was a busy one, but it was also really rewarding. So they played an important part of people's lives. So I think that it would be a very noble career to be a milkman. Would you ever want to be a milkman? Do you think it could come back? Do you think we could get milkmen or milkwomen back into our lives? And would it be different? Would it be the same? Thank you for joining me down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed learning about the daily life of a milkman in the 50s. Please don't forget to subscribe to Hearth and Home Nostalgia and give us a like if you're enjoying our content.